parents forced me out of the house to support my brother. They used me for money. I was like a cash machine to them. So I left. I saw their life fall apart without me. I am a man. I am 27 years old. Until a few months ago, I gave money to my whole family. I was like a cash machine. I did not choose this, but I was stuck for years. I had enough last Thanksgiving. Let me tell you about my past. I grew up in Ohio. We were not rich. Our house was small. It had 3 bedrooms. My dad drove big trucks for work. He was away 4 or 5 days each week. My mom worked part-time. She worked in an office. We did not have much money. We had to be careful with how we spent money. I got new clothes only when my old clothes had holes. We ate out only on birthdays. That's how we lived. I have a big brother. His name is Ethan. He is 30 years old. My parents liked him best. He was good at baseball in high school, but he did not do much after that. He went to college, but quit. He said his teachers did not like him. I also have a little sister. Her name is Megan. She's 19 years old. She gets what she wants. Even though we did not have much money, I was the good child. I got good grades. I had jobs since I was 16. I went to a small college because we could pay for it. I was not the best at anything, but I was someone people could count on. Maybe that was bad for me. Things changed when my dad hurt his back. This was 4 years ago. He was moving things from his truck. Something fell. He hurt his back badly. He said he was waiting for money from work. But the money never came. He always had a reason why. He would say there were problems with papers, or with his lawyer, or with the insurance company. I had just gotten a good job with computers. I finished a small college degree. I made about $68,000 each year. It was not a lot of money, but it was good money for my age, where I live. When my dad got hurt, I lived at home. I was saving money for my own place. I paid my mom and dad $500 each month to live there. This seemed fair. I also gave extra money sometimes. I bought food when we needed it. I paid the electric bill when it was late. These are things a good son would do, right? But soon, things changed. My parents would say, "Jake, we need to pay for the house. We don't have enough money this month." "Jake, the car bill is late. We need money." "Jake, Megan needs a new computer for school." Soon, I was paying $2,500 to $3,000 every month for my family. And I still lived in my old small room from when I was a kid. At the same time, my brother Ethan lived in the basement. The basement was nice. It had its own bathroom and door. He had many bad jobs. He never kept a job for long. He did not give money for the house. He said he was making music, but he just played his guitar badly. He put bad songs on YouTube. My mom and dad never asked him for money. They never said anything about the bad smell from his room. The smell came from the drugs he smoked. Let's skip to last Thanksgiving. We all sat at the table. My mom made a big meal. There was turkey, potatoes, and more food. I paid for all of it. The turkey cost $85. That's a lot for a turkey. My dad watched football on his phone. My brother Ethan was on his phone. He ignored everyone. My sister Megan put pictures of the food online. She wrote blessed and family time. I was very tired from work. I worked late 3 nights that week. I fixed computer problems. I just wanted to eat the food I paid for. I wanted to feel like my family was glad I was there. Then it happened. I reached for more bread. My dad said, "Jake has lived here for free for too long." I almost choked. I said, "What?" My mom nodded. She looked like she practiced this. She said, "We talked about this, dear. You are 27 now. It is time for you to get your own home. It is time to be a grown-up." I put my fork down. I was so mad. I said, "What are you saying? I pay to live here. I have paid rent." My mom said, "Yes, but you stopped paying $500 each month 2 years ago." Was she serious? I stopped paying that because I started paying for the house. I paid for the lights. I paid for food. I paid for everything. My brother Ethan made a sound. He did not look up from his phone. He said, "Dude, you're sad. You still live with mom and dad at your age? I would be so ashamed if I were you." This came from him. He is 30 and has no job. He never gives money for the house.
He lives in the nice basement. The basement has a small fridge and a TV. I live in my small room. It is 10 feet by 12 feet. I have the same bed and desk from when I was young. I said, "I paid to live here. I pay more than it costs to live here." My dad waved his hand. He said, "That is not the point. A man your age needs his own home. Your mom and I think it is time." I laughed, but it was not funny. I said, "Let me understand. I pay $1,850 for the house each month. I pay $300 for the lights. I pay $180 for the internet and TV. You wanted the TV for sports. I pay $900 for food each month. My brother eats a lot. I pay $3,000 for my sister's school, and I am the one who has to leave? What about him?" I pointed my fork at my brother. My mom said, "Your brother is going through changes. His music will be big soon. He just needs time." I said, "He's been changing for 12 years. When will he be a grown-up?" My brother looked up from his phone. He said, "I hate you. Not everyone wants to be a work robot like you." My dad pointed at me. He said, "Do not talk like that. Your brother follows his dream. This is not about him. This is about you needing your own space." I said, "My own space? Or do you want my money but not see me?" Everyone was quiet. My dad's face turned red. My sister looked up from her phone. She knew something interesting was happening. My mom said, "How dare you talk like that? After all we did for you." I asked, "What have you done for me? Tell me. From where I sit, I have paid for this house for years. All I get is criticism." My mom sighed. She gave me a look that said I was stupid. She said, "No one says you don't help, Jake. This is about you being on your own. We are thinking about what is best for you." I said, "Best for me or best for you?" Everyone was quiet again. My sister was recording with her phone. She probably wanted to put it online. Then I understood something. They never thought about what would happen when I left. They were used to me paying all the bills. They thought I would still pay after they made me leave. They wanted me to go away, but they still wanted my money. They were very bold. I sat there. I was very angry. I thought about all I gave up for my family. When I finished my small college, I could go to a big college. They would give me money to go. I said no. My dad got hurt that month. I had to work to help my family. I gave up my school for my family. My friends got apartments. They went to concerts. They took trips. I gave 70% of my pay to my family. I drove an old car. It was 12 years old. It had many miles on it. Every time I saved money for a new car, my family needed money for something else. Last year, I saved $8,000 for a used car. Then my sister needed $7,500 for a school trip to Spain. My mom and dad could not tell her no. They never told her no. So who paid? I did. I said no to a better job. The job was in another city. My family said they needed me here. The job would pay me $82,000. But I said no. My mom cried. She said they needed me here. My girlfriend left me. She was tired of never going out. I had no money after paying my family's bills. She said my family used me. I said no. They were good people. I was so stupid. 4 years of my life were gone. I gave up my job. I gave up my savings. I gave up my freedom for people who now called me lazy. I took a deep breath. I did not want to flip the table. I said, "Fine." My voice was calm. My mom looked happy. She thought she won. She said, "I know this is scary, dear, but this is good for you. We can help you find a home this weekend. There are nice homes near the mall." I nodded slowly. I said, "Do not help me. I will pack my bags tonight." My mom looked unsure for the first time that night. My dad was watching the game. He did not notice what happened. My brother said, "Give me the sauce. You could at least not eat all the food." I did not talk for the rest of the meal. I thought about my savings. I didn't have much money. My family always needed money for something. It was funny. They wanted me to leave, but because of them, I did not have enough money for my own plate.
After dinner, my mom talked to me in the kitchen. She said, "Jake, dear, do not be so dramatic. We can make a plan that works for all of us." I said, "A plan that works for everyone? You mean a plan where you still get my money for a long time?" She looked embarrassed. She said, "That is not what I meant. This is a big change. We should plan it well." I said, "Oh, I will plan it well. Do not worry about that." I did not sleep well that night. I looked at the ceiling. I thought about my life. I was always the good one, but my family treated me badly. I thought this over and over. The next morning, I woke up early. I was angry. Anger wakes you up. I found my bags. I put my clothes in them. I put my electronics in them. I put my papers in them. I did not have much furniture. My parents said the bed, desk, and dresser in my room belonged to the house. But I bought the desk myself. I used it when I worked from home. I thought about the costs. I would need $2,000 for rent for the first and last month. I would need $1,000 more for a deposit. I would need money for moving. I would need money for lights and water. I would need money for furniture. I had $4,300 saved. That was not much money after 4 years of work. That is what happens when one person pays for 5 people. At 11 in the morning, my sister came to my door. She was still in her night clothes. It was almost noon. She looked at her phone, but she looked at me sometimes. She said, "Are you really leaving?" She tried to sound like it was no big deal, but she failed. I closed my bag hard. I said, "That is what they wanted." She stood by the door. She said, "Mom said you would not be mad in the morning." I laughed. It was not a happy laugh. I said, "Of course she did. She thinks I'm just having a fit." She said, "Well, a little. You were very dramatic at dinner." She looked at her phone. She did not look at me. I said, "Dramatic? Are you joking?" I stopped packing. I looked at her. I said, "Megan, do you know how much money I give to this house? Do you know how much I give up?" She shrugged. She said, "I know you help sometimes." I said, "Sometimes? I pay for everything. I pay for your school. That $3,000 for school does not come from nowhere." She looked up from her phone. She looked confused. Then she started to understand. She said, "Wait, I thought Mom and Dad paid for my school." I said, "No, I pay for it. Just like your trip to Spain. Just like your new phone for your birthday. Just like everything here." She stood there. She looked awkward. I almost felt bad for her. Almost. She was just a teen. She was stuck in this bad family. But then I remembered something. I put her on my credit card. I said it was only for emergencies. She bought $600 of clothes online. When I asked her why, she shrugged. She said, "You have money." She asked, "But if you leave, how will they pay for things?" I could see her thinking, if I did not pay for her school, what would she do? I said, "That is a good question. Maybe ask Ethan to help for once. Maybe Dad could get the money from work he has talked about for 4 years. Maybe Mom could work full-time, not part-time. There are many ways that don't use me." She said, "You are so selfish. Families should help each other." There it was. The family words they used to control me for years. I said, "Family works both ways, Megan. It is not one person giving everything and everyone else taking. That is not family. That is using people." Her eyes got big. For a second, I thought she understood. But then she made a sound. She turned around. She walked away. She typed fast on her phone. She was probably telling her friends what a bad brother I was. I went back to packing. I felt angry. I felt relieved. I felt scared. I did not know where I would go.
I did not know how I would pay for it, but I knew one thing. I would not stay here another day. By noon, I had most of my things packed. I carried things to my car many times. No one helped me. My brother was still asleep in the basement. My mom was too upset to leave her room. My dad was in the garage. He said he was looking for something, but he just did not want to talk to me. I carried my last box of books down the stairs. My mom came out of her room. She had makeup on her face. Even though she was upset, she looked at my box. Her face changed from sad to worried. She said, "Wait, you were leaving now?" I looked at her. I said, "Is that not what we talked about last night?" She frowned. She said, "Yes, but I thought we would have time to make plans." I said, "I made my plans." This was not true. I had some money saved, not much, but enough for a deposit. I had a friend who would let me stay for a few days. I would find a way. I walked past her. I went to the front door. Just as I was about to leave, my dad came in from the garage. His hands were clean. He said he was looking for things in the garage. He said, "So you are really doing this?" He crossed his arms. He said, "Running away when things get hard." I did not answer him. I held the box. I tried to open the door. My mom said, "Jake." Her voice sounded sweet, but I knew she wanted something. She said, "Before you leave, Mad, we need to talk about the house bills." I turned slowly. I said, "What about them?" She talked to me like I was a child. She said, "We know you were leaving, but we still need your help with the house and lights. You have paid for them for a long time. We cannot pay for everything right away. We thought you could send $2,000 each month until we figure things out." I looked at her. I could not believe it. I said, "Are you serious?" She looked surprised by what I said. She said, "Do not use that tone. This is a good ask. We are your family." My dad came closer. He said, "After all we did for you, this is how you pay us back? You leave us with nothing? What kind of son does that?" Then my brother came up from the basement. He wore pants for sleeping and a dirty shirt. He said, "Why is it so loud? Some of us are trying to sleep." It was 12:30 in the afternoon. My dad shook his head. He said, "Jake thinks he is too good for us now. He will leave us to take care of ourselves while he acts important." My brother looked at me with hate. He said, "Dude, that is mean. Mom and Dad gave you everything." I put the box down. I was afraid I would throw it at someone. I said, "They gave me nothing. I've paid for this whole family for years. You sit and play games. Dad watches sports. He does not look for work." My dad shouted. He pointed to his back. He said, "I am hurt. Do you think I want to be at home? Do you think I do not want to work and make money?" I said, "It is funny that your hurt back does not stop you from playing golf with Uncle Steve every Wednesday or helping him move furniture last month, but it stops you from getting any job for 4 years." My mom came between us. She said, "Stop, both of you. This is not helping." She looked at me. Her face changed. I knew that look. She was trying to control me. She said, "Jake, dear, we are not asking for everything. Just some help for now. You can still have your own place. We just need some money until we are okay." I asked, "How long is until you are okay?" She waited. Then she said, "Well, until your dad gets his money from work, or until he can work again, or until Ethan's music gets big." I said, "So forever." "I understand." I said, "No." The word felt good. I said, "I will not give you any more money." My dad started to say, "You ungrateful..." He walked toward me. My mom put her hand on his arm. She said, "Don't, Robert." Then she said to me, "Jake, please, we are not asking for everything, just enough to get by."
You have money. You make good money. I said, I make good money because I work. And no, I cannot pay for 2 homes. Not anymore. My dad said, so that's it. You will leave your family, your mom who raised you, your dad who fed you all those years, your brother and sister who need you. I laughed. I said, oh, now I am family? Now you see what I did. It is funny that you only see it when you want something from me. My mom started to cry. This was how she controlled people. I saw her do this to my dad, to teachers, to people she owed money, to anyone who said no to her. She wiped her eye carefully. She did not want to mess up her makeup. My mom said, please, Jake, if you do not help us, we will lose our house. They will turn off our lights. Dad needs his medicine. I said, not my problem. My voice sounded cold. Even I was surprised. I said, you made your choice last night. You wanted me to leave, so I am leaving. My mom cried. Tears ran down her face. She said, this is not what we meant. I said, yes, it is. You just did not think about what would happen. You thought you could make me leave and still take my money. Well, that is not how it works. My dad's face got more red. He said, you listen to me. I said, no, you listen. I stopped him. I said, for once in your life, you will hear me. I have stopped my life for this family. I gave up school. I gave up a better job. I gave up relationships. I gave up saving my own money. You got to look like a normal middle-class family, but you did nothing to help, and you told me I am not welcome here anymore. They looked at me. They were shocked. I had never talked to them like this before. I said, I let this bad situation go on for too long. It ends today. I am leaving. The Bank of Jake is closed. Fix your own problems. I picked up my box. I walked to the door. My mom tried one more time. She said, Jake, please pay for the house this month. Just give us time. I turned back one last time.
I said, "You know what? I have a better idea. I will leave you with what you left me with for years. Nothing but empty words and making me feel bad." Then I left. I shut the door so hard, the mirror on the wall broke. That was a good sign. The first week was hard, I will not lie. I stayed at my friend Mike's home for 5 days. I slept on his couch. I felt like I failed, but I knew I did the right thing. Mike was nice about it. He met my family a few times. He always said they'd treated me badly, but I still felt like I was bothering him. I looked for a place to live all the time. I planned my money. It was surprising to see how much cheaper life was when I only paid for myself. I found a small place I could pay for. It was 30 minutes from my job. It was very small. It had a small kitchen and a bathroom. The bathroom was so small I could sit on the toilet and shower at the same time. But it was mine. No one asked me for money. No one made me feel bad for not paying for things. The first month, I turned off my phone for my family. They called and wrote to me all the time. They said, "The house bill is due. The electric company will turn off our lights. Dad needs his medicine." Each message was more desperate than the last. One night, after a bad day at work, I looked at all the messages. In 2 weeks, they sent 47 texts. They called 23 times. The messages changed. First they were angry. "You were leaving your family." Then they tried to make me feel bad. "Mom cried all night." Then they were desperate. "They will turn off our water." Then they threatened me. "You will be sorry when you have no family." After that, I blocked their numbers. I needed to build my own life. I did not want them to control my feelings from far away. After some time, they stopped trying to contact me. I thought they found another way.
Maybe my brother got a job. Maybe my dad got his money from work. Maybe they found another family member to use. Then, about 2 months after I left, I saw my old neighbor. Her name was Mrs. Wilson. I saw her at the food store. She said, "Jake, I have not seen you in a long time. How are you?" We talked for a minute. Then she told me something big. She said, "I hear your family is having a hard time. The bank said they will take their house next week." I nodded. I felt a little guilty, but I also felt good. I said, "Is that so?" She said, "Yes. Your mom tells everyone at church that you left them. But just between us, I always thought it was weird. You were the only one who worked in your house. Your brother's car has not moved for weeks. I think they took his car. I saw your parents at the cheap store. They bought a lot of cheap noodles and cheese food." I felt a little sorry for them, especially for my sister. But then I stopped feeling sorry. They made their choice. Now they had to live with it. When I got home, I was curious. I unblocked their numbers. I wanted to see if they sent messages. There were many messages from each of them. Each one was more desperate than the last. My dad wrote, "The bank is taking our house. This is your fault. How can you sleep? Your family will be on the street." My mom wrote, "Please, Jake, we are begging you. We need $3,200 by Friday, or they will make us leave. I know we made mistakes, but please do not punish your sister for what we did." My brother wrote, "You are dead to me, bro. Mom cries every night. Dad's back is worse from stress. I hope you are happy in your nice home while we suffer." My sister wrote, "I had to quit college. We cannot pay for it. Thanks a lot. My whole life is ruined because you are selfish." Each message tried to hurt me. They wanted me to feel bad. They wanted me to think family comes first. They wanted me to think I had to take care of everyone. But something in me had changed. I could see how they were trying to control me. It was very clear. I did not write back to any of them. The biggest thing happened 3 months after I left. My dad came to my apartment. I do not know how he found where I live. Maybe a friend told him. Maybe he followed me from work. I opened the door. He stood there. He looked terrible. He lost weight. His clothes were messy. He had dark circles under his eyes. He said, "Jake." His voice sounded rough. He said, "Can I come in?" I crossed my arms and blocked the door. I said, "Why?" He said, "To talk like men." I knew it was a bad idea, but I let him in. He walked in. He looked around my small but clean apartment. He saw the few things I had, a couch that was also my bed, a small table with 2 chairs, a small TV stand with a small TV I bought on sale. He said, "Nice place," but I could tell he did not mean it. To him, my place was probably sad compared to the big house they were about to lose. the house I had paid for. I said, "What do you want, Dad?" He sat on my couch without me asking him to. He said, "We're in trouble, son. Big trouble. The bank will take our house next week. Your mom is a mess. She lost 15 pounds. She has to take medicine for her nerves. My brother's girlfriend made him leave. He could not pay his part of the rent, so he sleeps in his car. My sister had to go live with her friend's family. We cannot afford to feed her anymore." I didn't say anything. I just stood there. I waited for him to tell me why he really came. He said, "I know we made a mistake." His voice got softer. He said, "We did not appreciate what you did for us. We used you. I see that now. Your mom and I have talked about it a lot. We were wrong to treat you that way." I almost believed him, but then he told me why he really came.
He said, "I'm here to make things right." He leaned forward. He said, "If you come back, things will be different. We will respect you more. We will appreciate what you do." I said, "You want me to move back home?" He said, "Yes, and help with money again, just until we are okay again." I started to laugh, and I could not stop it. He said, "What is so funny?" I said, "You learned nothing, did you? You are not sorry for how you treated me. You are sorry you lost your money." His face got hard. He said, "Look at what you did to this family." I said, "I did nothing to this family. You did. You and Mom and my brother. You all think you should get everything. I just stopped giving you everything." He shouted, "So you will let us have no home?" He said, "What kind of bad person are you?" Then I decided to hurt him. I said, "Actually, I have something to show you." I took out my phone. I opened my bank app. I showed him the screen. It showed I had $42,836.45. His eyes got big. He said, "What? That is what you saved in 3 months without paying for us?" I said, "Yes, 3 months." He said, "You can save the house." I put my phone away. I said, "I can, but I will not. You do not deserve it." He said, "Jake, I have thought a lot about what happened." I stopped him. I said, "And I realized something. You did not want me to leave because it was time or because it would be good for me. You wanted me out because you were embarrassed. Your younger son was the one who provided for the family. It hurt your pride that I was the man of the house in every way that mattered." His face turned red. He said, "That is not—" I said, "Yes, it is. And you know what? It is not my job to save you from your bad choices anymore. I am keeping my money. I am building my life. And watching you finally face what you did is the best payback I could want." I stood up. I walked to the door. I opened it wide. I said, "Get out." He stood up slowly. I could see he had lost. He said, "Your mother will be very upset." I said, "She will be fine. And if she is not, that is not my problem." He walked past me. He stopped. He tried one more time. He said, "We are family, Jake. We have the same blood." I looked right in his eyes. I said, "Not anymore." I shut the door hard. I felt something I had not felt in years. Peace. Complete peace. It has been 6 months now. I heard that they lost their house. They moved to a bad 2-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town. My dad finally got a job. He works at a gas station. He takes money from people. His back got better when they were about to have no home. That is interesting. My mom works full-time at the insurance office now. My brother had to get a job. He works at a big store. He moves things onto trucks. This is funny because my dad said he hurt his back moving things. My sister works at McDonald's. She does not go to college anymore. But my life is good. I got the better job I said no to years ago. My boss found me. He said they still needed someone with my skills. He asked if I would move for the job. I make $88,000 now. I have good benefits. I bought a good used Mazda car. I am dating again. Nothing serious yet, but it is nice to go out to dinner. I do not worry if I have enough money to pay someone else's bills. I'm going on a vacation next month. I'm going to Colorado. This is my first real vacation in years. I will walk in the mountains, I will try local beers, and I will not think about my family at all. Sometimes I feel a little guilty, especially about my sister. She is young. She learned to feel entitled from watching our parents. But then I remember something. They never thanked me for what I did. They treated me like a cash machine, not like a person. Then the guilt goes away. My sister contacted me last week. She broke up with her boyfriend. She needed a place to stay. Guess where she thought she could stay for a while? Yes, with me. I offered to help her find a cheap place to live or find someone to live with. She called me a bad name. She hung up. Some things never change.